The Denver Broncos have been dealt a crushing blow before free agency even had a chance to begin. Just as fans were hoping for a major roster shakeup, one of the team's top targets slipped away, leaving Denver scrambling for answers. This offseason was supposed to be about improvement, about fixing weaknesses, and about getting back to contending. Instead, it's starting with frustration. Linebacker Nick Bolton, a name heavily linked to Denver's free agency plans, has officially re-signed with the Kansas City Chiefs on a 3-year, $45 million deal. That's a massive loss for a Broncos team that desperately needed to bolster its linebacker unit. And to make matters worse, another key target, Zack Baun, is also staying put, taking yet another potential solution off the board before Denver could even make a move. This is not what fans wanted to hear. Denver's linebacker situation was already a concern, and now, with the market thinning before free agency even officially begins, the options are becoming more limited by the day. Cody Barton is a free agent, Alex Singleton is coming off a torn ACL, and overall depth at the position is paper thin. There was hope that Denver could make a splash at linebacker this offseason, but instead, they're left with even more uncertainty. The harsh reality of today's NFL is that teams with cap space flexibility are locking up their best players instead of letting them test free agency. In the past, championship teams, or those with superstar quarterbacks, would often lose talent due to salary cap constraints. But with the cap soaring to nearly $300 million, those days are gone. The Chiefs didn't have to make any major sacrifices to keep Bolton, and that left the Broncos with nothing but a growing problem at linebacker. So what now? The remaining linebacker options in free agency don't offer much excitement. Denver could pivot to players like Jermaine Sherwood, Willie Gay, Isaiah Simmons, Devin Bush, or Robert Spillane. But let's be honest, none of those names scream game changer. They're solid rotational pieces at best, short-term fixes rather than transformative additions to the defense. If the Broncos truly want to make an impact, free agency might not be the answer at all. Instead, they could turn to the trade market. One name to keep an eye on is Jermaine Pratt from the Cincinnati Bengals. Pratt has reportedly requested a trade, and while inside linebackers don't generate the same level of hype as edge rushers or shutdown cornerbacks, he could be exactly what Denver needs. The challenge, of course, is what it would cost. Would Denver be willing to part with valuable draft capital for Pratt? And if they do, what kind of contract would he demand in return? These are the tough decisions the Broncos front office must navigate in the coming days. Another option? Running it back with Cody Barton and Alex Singleton. It's not flashy, and it certainly won't grab headlines, but at this point, it might be the most realistic option. Barton stepped up last season when injuries hit, and while he's not a superstar, he proved he can be a serviceable starter. If Singleton's rehab is progressing well, keeping the duo together could provide at least some level of stability. But let's be real. Stability isn't what the Broncos need. They need an upgrade. They need a difference maker. With the way things are unfolding, Denver may be forced to shift its focus to the NFL draft. The linebacker class this year isn't overflowing with elite talent, but there are some intriguing prospects who could develop into starters. Someone like Texas A&M's Edgerrin Cooper or Michigan's Junior Colson could be a solid addition, though relying on a rookie to step in and contribute immediately is always a gamble. Then there's the wild card, Sean Payton's approach. Payton made it clear that linebacker and safety were two areas the team wanted to address in free agency. But with the way things are playing out, he may have to pivot. There's even a growing belief that if Denver can't find the right linebacker, they could make a bigger move at safety instead. Names like Jordan Whitehead or Julian Blackmon could become surprise targets, helping to bolster the defense in a different way. But no matter how you look at it, this isn't the offseason Broncos fans were expecting. Missing out on Bolton and Baun is frustrating enough, but watching other teams secure their top players while Denver struggles to find answers only makes it worse. The reality is that the Broncos were never going to be major spenders in free agency this year. With limited cap space and multiple roster needs, they had to be strategic. But no one expected them to strike out this quickly. And that leads to the biggest question of all. Could this all be part of a bigger plan? There's speculation that Denver might be saving its cap space for a splash move later in the offseason. Could they be planning a blockbuster trade for a star player, maybe even someone at a different position? Right now it's all speculation, But if the Broncos continue to stay quiet while other teams are making moves, it's fair to wonder if there's a long-term strategy in place that fans simply aren't seeing yet. One thing is certain, the pressure is on. Denver cannot afford to sit back and do nothing. This offseason was supposed to be about making key improvements, especially on defense. Instead, they're watching top targets slip away before free agency even starts. The linebacker market is drying up, and waiting too long could leave them with nothing but second-tier options. The front office has to make a move, and they have to make it soon. So now, Broncos fans, it's your turn. What do you think? Should Denver make a bold move for a top linebacker, take a chance on a remaining free agent, explore the trade market, or roll with Barton and Singleton for another season? Or do you think they're cooking up something bigger behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts because this offseason is just getting started, and things are about to get very interesting in Denver.